Obviously, big data commercially has become very successful, but it's not just because of the term big data, rather because of the challenges which were needed to be dealt with this humongous data. Initially, I'll tell you, background, a little background of it. So every company initially, when the term was out and every company wanted to focus on big data, they started focusing on all the challenges. They started creating a tool with respect to all these challenges. At one tool which will, solve all these challenges. And that is where around 2016, 17, every company failed. They were finding it really difficult to come up with a tool who can, cover up all these challenges. Later on, obviously the words were out and they started picking or started solving one of these challenges. They created the tool which solves one of the challenges. But what is this all challenges about in big data? Because when we say big data, it's about humongous data. It's like petabytes or terabytes of information that we talk about. And nowadays, mobile phones, their IoT devices, everything is scattered. So capturing the data is the foremost challenge. So if you can capture the data, that you can use it further. So one of the starting challenges, capturing all this humongous data. Once you capture all this information, obviously it's a used information. It's very difficult to transfer that information to a central point. Obviously, you cannot go onto each of the source and try to analyze this data. So you need to get all this data into a server or into an area where you can go and analyze it, right? So transferring the data was again a challenge. But even if you are able to transfer it, storing the data was again a challenge because we're not talking about 1 GB or 2 GB of data. There's petabytes, zettabyte of data that I'm talking about. So storing is another issue. Even if you are able to store it, then searching the right data is important because you have pulled in data from different sources. You don't know which data you need to cater, right? Because if you just want to focus on complaints, you don't know, you got all the data set. You need to first search the right set of data and then do your analysis. The other thing is, even if you are able to do that, then how are you going to analyze this much used data? That was again a problem. And even if you are able to do it, the output that you get will be humongous, and you cannot just send an Excel file or flat file to anyone, say, this is the analysis that I've done. So the better way is to visualize it, right? So all these were challenges with big data, and there were a lot of companies later on came up with one set of tools for each of these challenges. And that is where big data again picked up, and now everyone knows about it. These are the sort of tools. There are a couple of tools here on the screen. There are a couple of basic tools when big data started, like Scoop. You have Flume was a very old tool. You have Hive, Pig, Impala, HBase, Spark, Mahout, MongoDB. These are a couple of very old tools. But nowadays, there are more UI-based tools which are there in the market. Most of these tools are more of a you work on a hard, uh, uh, bare metal hardware, server, VMs, you install Hadoop and then work. But most of the tools which are now in market are more UI based. They are more procedural. You drag a drop a data, you import the data, then you perform some procedure, you do your BI activities and other, and at the end visualize the data. And on the visualization side, we have Tableau, MicroStrategy, ClickView. These are the leaders in market, and these are the tools which are not always paid, right? If I want to use Tableau, there is a free version available, at least a trial version available. So I can just download it, install it, and at least use it to see how it works. All the tutorials are already there on YouTube, so you don't have to go anywhere, right? You don't need a subscription for anything. All the tools are already available. You can reach out to your faculties as well, or your mentors who can help you out in filtering down on these tools. So this is more on the big data, but as I promised at the starting, I'll not just be talking about where a particular technology is, but rather I'll be talking about where it's gonna lead to. So what is next in big data? So big data is going to become super big now with more data source coming in. So when I say most data source, it means I'm talking about the non-digital sources. So what are non-digital sources? Because we have this non-digital sources data still untapped. Like there are companies who are decoding genomes. It's basically in our body, DNA, right? So these are actually non-digital sources. We don't get anything digitally from these sources. But if you decode them into a string of zeros and ones, that becomes digital. So there are a lot of areas, unstructured, untagged data, which is there, and we will, kind of assemble them at some point of time, and that will make big data humongous data. And if you wrap everything in a word, we call it as a dark data or a dusky data or a dusty data. So these are terms which you're gonna see in near future. If you don't know at this point, it's perfectly fine. But these are terms that you will hear a lot in near future. And to handle this amount of data, it will obviously revolutionize the technology further. There will be new tools coming in to handle this humongous data, and parallelly there will be new job roles. So if you are interested in big data, just try to find out what are the non-digital sources on which you can work, how they are getting digitalized, at least get an awareness of the tools which are available, right? And it will help you in your future. That is where the current is. So get the current understanding of big data, work on a couple of tools. Obviously, that's the starting point, and then jump onto something called as a dark data. Okay. So this is more on the big data side. The other important and very interesting topic is robotics process automation, RPA. What I heard is you have recently done a training on this. So RPA basically in a nutshell is a term used, term specifically coined for a set of software tools that are partially or fully automate human activities that are either manual, rule-based, or repetitive. You can see the definition on the screen.